Be like, who's for?
Well,
I used to watch it. I was
this
really
time of
into
year,
it.
a lot of it is, we sinuses, but it was it definitely helped, and she had crystal twist in there. How old is she?
She's in her fifth, late fifth, she's on six.
I think we use it for
That's good for your habit, but she needs to, it can happen again.
My birthday yesterday, and I feel like I killed 10 well, it was just a little round looking thing.
Y'all ready? Okay, this is our little hand rehab lab, and the first thing you do is just, of course, do the pain level and sensitivity level. And I usually do just the pain level from 0 to 10, and we always do that. And then the next thing that we're going to look at is actually doing volumetric measurement. And this is a homemade unit. They have ones that are much better than this. So Terry Dean made this probably 15 years ago. But what you do is you have, you put it right to the edge where it would pour out. If you just put a little more water in there where you want it. Which is where I had it a while ago, I thought. There it goes. So anyway, you just want it where it will pour out at that point.
Okay. You probably pour it in.
And then you have your patient put their hand, I would say that you need a spot and you need to document where you did that. So probably at the end of the styloid process. Yes. So you're going to have them stick their hands straight down. It helps if this is lower. Normally you'll have it on a lower surface, but I don't have that. So if you want to get let's get a stool and put it up here and have the person come up high. And so you want to go right down to the end of the styloid process. I've not seen him. He left it right at noon. But you need to wait till it quits moving, till it leaks out. And so then you go straight down to the styloid process, and then you measure in milliliters how much you get, and each time you document that. And so that just shows if they're more swollen that day or less swollen or that kind of thing. And really the only time that I've ever seen, Bill, have you ever used this in the clinic at all?
Never.
The only time I've ever seen this used is with hands. You could do it with ankles probably too, but mainly with hand therapy is where I've seen it. And they do utilize it quite a bit actually.
I've always used the figure 8 on the hand and wrist, and figure 8 on the
To do,
circumferential measurements.
oh, to do circumferential measurements. So you would do the hand,
Start here, go around, up around the hand, and then back down.
okay,
Figure 8.
whatever works.
I don't know if that's right or not, but
I don't know, I mean, as long as you have something to measure it, it's not wrong because you're looking, as long as you use the same thing every time, then it's objective, right? But anyway, so I want you to all do that with your patient. So you're just gonna, we'll get a stool and I just want you to put your hand, you wanna put your hand straight down. So you don't wanna mess around with it in there. It needs to go straight in and go to the same spot each time, okay? So that's your volumetric measurement. On the range of motion, you're going to do the index finger of your patient. I only have 2 finger goniometers, and basically they're very simple to use. You're going to push the finger down as far as it will go, and so then you put the goniometer there, and then as you bend the finger down, you just move it down and you document that, okay? And so then you do the DIP and the PIP, and then you're going to do the metacarpal phalangeal, okay? And so that's a really nice finger goniometer. That's probably the nicest one. It's pretty easy to use. This one actually goes into extensions. You're going to want to start it at 0 and do the same thing with it. Okay, so you just move it with where you need it to go, and it'll have the range of motion. Okay. And you're going to do passive, we're going to do passive range, okay? You could do passive and active, couldn't you? So, that's there. Then I want you to go ahead and do, since y'all just learned how to do all this, Your wrist flexion and extension, I have some smaller goniometers, but if you wanna use those big ones, it's okay. It's easier when you get to the ankle and to the wrist to me to use these, the smaller ones, but you can use the bigger ones for the knee, the bigger ones, whatever, there's two here. And there may be some smaller ones over there, but what have y'all been using on the wrist? What'd you use?
The big one.
That big one? Try these are so much easier. Yeah, these are definitely easier for that, you know, the deviation and everything. And so you're gonna do, wrist flexion extension, supination, pronation, ulnar deviation, and radial deviation. So do that on your patient. You're gonna check whether they have opposition to all 4 fingers. So if they have, yes, put 1 and 2, 3 and 4, if they have all 4, okay? So opposition is putting the thumb to the end. We're just looking at range of motion, not strength right now, okay? So that would be range of motion. On the grip string, has anyone ever taught you how to do this?
Yes.
We are only going to do, the second hole here. If you have a real small hand, go ahead and move it all the way in, so it just depends. You kind of want to make sure that your PID, you know, can comfortably make a grip here. And do you understand why you have all 5 spots? Did he tell you that? So that you can see if someone's actually doing it. It should be a bell curve, and the purpose of that would be to see if they're putting maximum effort out. But I don't care about that right now. So if you're not concerned about that, but you're going to leave it in the second notch if you have a good hand, and you do 3 reps. And so you can have them sitting or standing. They keep their their elbow bent at this percent, and then you have them do it 3 times. And so you see what it is. I'm better than I used to be. I'm getting there.
I've been messing with this some, and I found that you get more strength if you sit down. You can do it better.
Then whatever you do is just be consistent, okay? And when they're sitting, make sure they have good posture. Don't let them be slumping when they're doing it. Make sure everything is pulled together, right? Anytime you test, you ought to make sure that they have good posture. But I think as long as you're consistent, so maybe you need to write down sitting or standing. It's funny, if you demonstrate to them and standing, they'll all stand up for you. I consistently see that when I do grip a lot. I don't know let me just tell y'all this. Grip strength in old men is older gentlemen, I shouldn't say old, but let's say somebody over 65, is very comparable to death rates. So if you have someone who has a very low grip strength, their chances of dying pretty quickly are pretty high. So I don't know if that's just a strength issue, but guess what I always work on with every patient I have? Grip strength.
Yeah.
What's the correlation there? Is it just like...
I think it's probably a whole strength thing, but it's real interesting. You will find that it's very important for men especially to keep a good grip anyway. Just because. So
We're gonna have to protect her on his is lower.
Norms are. Norms for the average female, not you guys who are young, but not like older. I don't know what the norms are, I'll have to look them up, but most females are 40 to 60, males are 80 to 120. Let me tell you, I used to take this in, like if I go into school systems and do a talk on physical therapy, I'll take a grip strength thing, and I'll take that E-stim unit that does wrist extension, because kids just, you know, I can't stop it. So it's really kind of fun to, you know, do that. But one day I went into Arcoma, and there was a science teacher, she was an 8th grade science teacher, and she had 120 pounds grip strength in both hands.
Wow.
And she wasn't that big of a lady. And so what do y'all think she did? She called hay all summer long. That's what she did in her free time, was haul hay. Yeah, well, it's holding that much with
Was
that
mine like
dip,
30?
a really strong grip. But anyway, I
I
thought
don't
that
know.
was,
I
I've never
remember.
seen a female at 120 pounds.
I thought mine was.
Okay, so you're gonna do,
Maybe I'm
3
dying.
of those on each hand, and you're gonna, everybody, we're gonna kind of move through, because we only have 1 of those. And then you're gonna take an average of the 3, okay? It'll be interesting to see how everybody is. And then for your treatment, what we wanna do is look at desensitization of the hand. Remember, what's the main thing you're always supposed to remember about hand therapy?
Don't overwork them.
Don't overwork them if they're inflamed. Do pain meds, pain modalities, and send them home. Okay, so, let's go over this too. Where is the motor, what does the, median nerve do motor-wise?
Flexion of thumb, index, middle, and half of the ring. Right?
Actually, just these.
Is it the
But
pinching?
it's okay, you're looking at
Right.
sensation, okay? So that does the pinch, if you'll just remember the pinch with these 3 fingers. Okay, so that's the median nerve.
You know what?
Okay, so what's
Mr.
the motor
Krabs
for the radial
With
nerve?
money. Always wanting money. And for
It's
medium money.
extension of all 5 fingers, all the thumb and the 4 fingers, and the wrist. That's the radial nerve. What does the ulnar nerve do motor-wise?
Okay.
Does flexion of the last 2 fingers. It does lumbricals of the last 2, median does lumbricals of the first 2 lumbricals, and it does the interossei. So that's the ulnar nerve. Okay, so what is the sensation for the median nerve? Right, first 3 and part of the ring, and that also that extends down into the palm. It literally kind of goes right, it follows that down into the palm. Okay, where is the radial nerve sensation? Same on the back of the hand.
Because this is thumb.
Where is the ulnar nerve for sensation?
She said first
Pinky
3
and
and part of the
half
ring.
finger on both sides, front and back.
Does she mean
Okay,
first
so
2 and part of
sensation and motor
the
is different for the ulnar nerve than the radial nerve. Okay. So we want to desensitize. So just feel the difference. I've got cotton balls. Get you a wash rag. Do a light massage in an area, like over a finger. Someone's got it. Just do a whole finger. Just massage a whole finger. If anybody has a sore hand or a sore finger, we can do that. So go from a cotton ball to a wash rag to a light massage to a deep massage. And then on mobilization of the wrist, literally if you want to start doing just some really good things, is just distraction of a joint. And it feels good, doesn't it? I hope it does. And so then I want you to just distract every joint. Your thumb. Just really distract, and then once you've distracted a little bit, maybe distract it 3 times. And then go ahead and do your bending and looking for your range of motion, okay? Okay, so you're gonna do all 5 fingers on that. Okay, so you can do it in whatever order you want. Some of this stuff's gonna be in your